In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
time
on your smartphone.
all around the world. Are you ready to turn it up?
This is Star Radio UK.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Well, we're just kicking start. It's a Wednesday edition. It's the Star Radio UK. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate my producer that are working around the clock as we're just about to kickstart. I say good evening and welcome to Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station. We're just about to start. It's coming up to exactly 21 minutes past 6 p.m. local time in London, as we say good evening and welcome once again. I say good evening and welcome to Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. Well, I say good evening. It is Star Radio UK, and this is how we roll it this Wednesday edition as we're just about to kickstart. We couldn't have been doing this without appreciating my producer, Frank and Archie, that are working around the clock. I'd like to also appreciate all our listeners from around the globe as you're joining us from different parts of the globe this evening on Niger Voices, where we're just about to kickstart. We have a lot to discuss as usual. We're going to continue from where we stopped last week. But before we go into that, I welcome you as you're joining from different platforms. Quite an amazing Wednesday. So much happening in Nigeria, and it's happening very fast. And the question we should ask ourselves is, for how long must Nigerians suffer for the negligence of a country that failed to protect so many lives? If you're following the news back in Nigeria, there's quite a lot happening, and it's happening very fast. Very, very fast, that you just have to catch up with it sometimes. But our job here is to bring the awareness of the crime against humanity, the genocide, and so much that is happening in Nigeria that is not reported to the international community. Today is the 13th of April, 2022. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'll be driving you home this evening from wherever you're watching us. And I say, just get a cup of tea, The weather was a bit warm on my way to the studio. And I could tell it's because of the weather is changing. We're going into summer, not yet fully. It's been a very busy week as usual. For those that have been following us on all the platforms, we're going to listen to so much. Why is the security of Nigerians not a priority to all the contestant that wants to become the president? As the killing is happening in Benue State, the killing is happening in Zamfara, in Borno, the genocide is happening in the southeast, the massacre is happening in the southwest, and the terrorists have literally taken over. But the question we should ask ourselves is, why have the government not done much to protect the citizens? This is our first track. Let's enjoy it as it's just about to come up. As we say good evening from here in London, I welcome you all. There's a lot happening in Nigeria. The killings have got to a stage where nobody is even worried. 140 there, 150 there. And you ask yourself, do we still have a president and a vice president that wants to become a president? Is that not amazing? The priority for the government across the globe is to protect the citizens. But it is the other way around in Nigeria. And that is why I asked the question, why is the lives of Europeans more important than the lives of those known as Africans? Why is there given so much when it comes to the situation, as an example, as it's happening across the globe, and a lot of us have been following that? Do you know, are you aware that there's about 8 million Nigerians that are internally displaced? That means these are individuals that have lost everything. Are you aware of that? 8 million Nigerians are no longer living in their homes because of the terrorist attack. Do we now say there's a hidden agenda by the Fulanis, as a lot have been said about them? Should we be concerned? Should we be worried? These are questions that is begging for answer. As we're just about to kickstart this evening, I go back to the first track again and I say, welcome. I can spot you there, my brother, Arole Baba 1010 in South Africa, and every one of you that have joined us. This is Star Radio UK, and this is how we do it every Wednesday for the last 5 years. Do we now say that those that are asking for self-determination are right? Which I am one of them. You all know my position. I believe Nigeria can no longer hold, and it is time now to disintegrate Nigeria so that we can save lives. But a lot of people still disagree And I'm not sure why, but we come back to that in just about a few minutes. This is Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. If you're joining us for the first time, this is how we do it.
In your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. Do we now say that those that want the self-determination might be right, since the center is no longer holding? Who should be held responsible for the security of Nigerians? That is Orile Deme is playing behind. For those of you that do not speak Yoruba, Yoruba is a very beautiful language, but it's been hidden under Nigeria for a very long time. I'm going to be telling you everything about the self-determination at the second hour of this program. We're going to be listening to the voice of the recording of Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho that was released last week. Are you signing the petition? For those of us that have been told to go and sign the petition. The court case was meant to hold today, but for reason beyond our control, it was adjourned. But I have a good news. The court case will be coming back. I'm going to be giving you all those details. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Welcome once again. Do you think that 2023 will solve the problem being faced by millions of Nigerians? Once again, I welcome you to Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. We have a lot to discuss, and I'm asking the question that I was asking last week. Who should be held responsible for the security, lives of millions of Nigerians that are now asking the question, do we still have a government? I was reading from the governor of Benue State. Benue State, for those of you that know Benue State very well, Benue State is meant to be the food basket of Nigeria. But as of today, the whole state is now in the hands of terrorists. And my concern is, should we be concerned, or should we just let it continue? Should we all now be concerned that the government have lost it completely, and we are better off now to say Nigeria is now officially a failed nation? We were told that Nigeria is a failed nation by the former ambassador to Nigeria. I'm going to be giving you those details. Yesterday, there was a sentence that occurred. I'm sure you all remember David Mars. He was a former member of the parliament here in United Kingdom. But yesterday was a sentence to the man found guilty of murdering the MP. I'm going to link that to give you the magnitude of what we are dealing with for those that do not understand that Nigeria is now an official failed nation. It's coming up to 34 minutes past 6 p.m. This is Niger Voices. For those that still believe in Nigeria, there's not a problem in that. For those that think that we can fix Nigeria. But should we be concerned that the terrorists have now hijacked the country completely? As we speak tonight, Nigeria has now overtaken Iraq. So that means officially, Nigeria now stands as the second most terrorized country in the world. That means Afghanistan is number 1. Nigeria is number 2. So Nigeria now stands in the position of where you are likely to be kidnapped by a terrorist in Nigeria today. And that is why the British government is advising all the citizens that might be thinking of traveling to Nigeria not to do so. The quote of the day today says, "It is my firm conviction that everyone's destiny will have its ups and downs, zigzags, drawbacks, and accomplishment." Chief Sunday Igboho must have had his own, but he keeps saying that we should not give up on Yoruba nation because that is the only way out. I welcome you all from different platforms as you're joining us. Again, the quote of the day says, "It is my firm conviction that everyone's destiny would have its ups and downs, zigzags, drawbacks." Do we now say that Nigeria has had its ups and downs and we can still rescue Nigeria? Do you think that Nigeria can still be rescued for those of us still believing in one Nigeria? Some of you have been told to go get your PVC. Do you think that the PVC will solve this problem right now? Do you think that PVC will resolve the problem that we are facing as we speak right now in Nigeria? I don't know. I'm asking. This is Niger Voices. Once again, I'd like to appreciate my producer, Frank and Archie, and all the technical team that are working behind the scene. You might not see them, but they're working around the clock. You can also join me every Wednesday or every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. when I give the update with the morning show. I'm a bit worried, and the reason why I'm worried is if ISIS, Boko Haram, is being labeled as bandits, do you know that over 200 Nigerians are still in the hands of the train bomb attack that took place about almost 2 weeks ago now? The terrorist is now saying that we want the government to give us 16 of our commandants and we will release 100 of the Nigerians that were kidnapped on that train attack. What is the government really doing to rescue these individuals? One of the doctor, I'm sure you all remember her. I think I've got a picture of her here for those of us that probably do not know what she looks like. Remember, she was meant to be out of Nigeria. This is her, Dr. Chinelo Inwondo Megafu JP. She was born on October 26, 1992, but she was eventually killed in Nigeria on a train bomb attack by the terrorists. For those of you that are not from Nigeria, there was an attack on the train by the terrorist group operating in Nigeria 2 weeks ago, and multiple numbers of people were killed, and this innocent young Nigerian was among those that died. She will be buried according to her family on the 21st of April this month at 7 at Shepherd Hill Baptist Church, Ikorodu Road or Banikoro at 11 o'clock. Then interment follows. Do you remember that Tolulokwe Arotile, she was the military first ever helicopter combat pilot that was also killed? Do we now say that Nigeria is playing with fire? Or should we just say everything is under control? What is your take on that? I want to remind us of what the late Dr. Malafia Obadia told us. The late Malafia said that this year is going to be a very, very tough time. 2022. Let us hear what he has to say.
Because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria.
I hope you're taking note of what the late Dr. Malafia had to tell us before he was killed. Because I believe that he was taken off because of some of the information that he has with him. Some might disagree with me. That is not a problem. That is the beauty of democracy. But one thing I've got to remind us is the late Dr. Malafia Obadia gave us a lot of information that should also be of useful to us right now. The late Dr. Malafia said, and I quote, that one of the governor is the commander of the Boko Haram. Should we be concerned that if one of the governors is the commander of the Boko Haram, do we now say that the government or the nation or the country has failed completely? Let's hear more from what the late Dr. Malafia Obadia said.
Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network.
Did you hear that? They have a sophisticated network. Good evening to those of you that are listening to us from different parts of the globe, from Gambia, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Benin Republic, those in Nigeria, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Malaysia, Libya, Togo, Ghana. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is the Niger Voices every Wednesday that comes up between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. from London. If the Boko Haram have a sophisticated network, do we now all agree that the government of Nigeria has failed completely? Let's hear more from the late Dr. Malafia. Good evening to you, my brother Mike Ola. Thank you so much for joining. Good evening to those of you, Mr. Michael Aweb, Ajayi Gabriel, Moshood Ibrahim, and all our listeners on Star Radio UK. Remember to follow us at Dideji Busayo Emmanuel. Good evening to you. I can spot you there. Keep your comment coming. I'll be reading them out as we continue. The question I'm asking Nigerians tonight, and those that think that we don't want to be known as Nigerians, we want to be known as Biafrans, we want to be known as Yoruba. I saw that Omoyele Sowore, after 2 years, they've now lifted the ban for his restriction movement. We have terrorists that is moving around from Abuja to Borno to Maiduguri to Kaduna. The government is not going after them, but they've pinned down Omoyele Sowore for the last 2 years. And we hope now that he's got his movement, he can be able to travel at least to go and see the family that he left in America since 2 years ago. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, renditioned back to Nigeria by the government, but yet we have a sophisticated Boko Haram terrorist ISIS that is operating with impunity. Good evening to my family. Good evening to those of you that have joined us. Good evening to Tunde Akimbawale that is listening to us from Ifo in Ogun State. Arishekola Oyekon, good evening to you. Good evening to you, Olajide. Good evening to you, Kenny Bright. PVC Nigeria is mad, according to Said. Alex, good evening to you, BJ. I welcome every one of you. Let's go back to listen more to the late Dr. Malafia Obadia. For those that do not know him, he was a one-time, I believe, deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. For those that are not from Nigeria, just for your own take. Let's hear more a little bit.
During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving...
You can hear that their planes were moving as if there was no lockdown. This was during the COVID-19, when almost every part of the globe was totally locked down. The Boko Haram were moving with their private jet, money, weapons. Good evening to you, Mrs. Dupe Agbuola. Good evening to you, Adisa Oluronwa Aziz. And good evening to those of you that are watching us on the Instagram as well. Good evening to you, Balogun Sulaiman. Timitokwe Osha, good evening to you. My question is, we will bring the YouTube on in just about a few minutes. Just bear with us. Just bear with us.
Money and distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They are everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
By 2022, according to the late Dr. Malafia Obadia, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Are you concerned? Are you worried? Or are you just thinking that it's never going to happen? Just like some of you are saying that Nigeria is safe and nothing is going to happen.
Contact with these civilizations, and you do not.
Do you think that there will never be a civil war in Nigeria? Are you of the opinion that Nigeria will not come across a civil war? I'm just asking the question to those of you that are our listeners tonight on Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'd like to welcome those of you that have joined us so far. I'm now getting a little bit worried that Nigerians are not taking the security serious as we're meant to do. A lot of Nigerians are probably thinking that there will not be crisis, especially with the way the terrorists are operating without no one stopping them. Should we be worried, or should we just say it will never happen, and that means everybody should just continue as if nothing is happening in Nigeria? Are you of the view or the opinion that nothing would happen and then we should just continue the way we are at the moment? Mr. Mike Ola said they are doing that already. That is what they just started doing from Zamfara a few days ago. They went knocking door to door and took some people away in the thick of the night. So why are a lot of Nigerians not asking the question, who should we hold responsible for the security of lives of millions of Nigerians? Who should we be holding responsible? Because I know that the terrorists are not ready to back down. But a lot of Nigerians are probably saying that we should not worry because everything is under control. Are you of that same opinion, that everything is under control and there should not be any reason why we should be concerned? Should we be concerned? And if we are not concerned, why are we not concerned? Once again, a very good evening to those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe. It's a very busy week. It's coming up to 7 p.m. local time in London. Why is the government not doing enough to go after the terrorists? Should we say that the government or the military is now compromised? Do you think so? That maybe the military is compromised? I don't know. I'm asking. A very good evening once again to each and every one of you that have joined us from different parts of the globe. It is not just the late Dr. Malafia that spoke to us. We also know that we've had and we've listened to the former Navy comrade Kunle Olayomi that also said a similar thing as well. Why are we not concerned with the current situation that is happening in Nigeria? Why is a lot of Nigerians not concerned at all? Why are we thinking that the situation will get better? What is giving us the impression that the situation will get better? Because, like I said, I'm going to be giving us the sentence that took place yesterday by the man that was found guilty of killing the member of parliament. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki. This is Naija Voices, and we welcome you once again. Samson Bayo says, say Baba must be held responsible for lack of security in location 9. Buhari and his cohort brought the bandits to location 419. Are you of the same opinion with him? Or do you disagree with him? Do you disagree or you agree with him? Who is allowing the Boko Haram to have it all in Nigeria? Let's listen to this interview that was granted to a former naval chief that spoke 7 months ago. Let's just hear a little bit from him.
Actually enjoin journalists to go to all military formations across the country on Friday by 1 o'clock. You are going to see the same thing happening across all military formations, including Naval Training Command Apapa, including the division in Ibadan, including NDA, including Jaji. I was in Jaji in 1994 for my junior division. And every Friday, our gate is thrown open. And everybody comes in to pray in our mosques. Even though they have their mosque outside. If you go to defense headquarters I served at Defense Headquarters as the Deputy Director, Defense Administration between 2015 and 2017. Throughout my 2 years at Defense Headquarters, I received visitors only twice because of the strict security architectures at the Defense Headquarters. But every Friday, the gate of Defense Headquarters is thrown wide open for everybody to come in and do Jumat. That is the time the terrorists have the time to profile our security environment.
Has that always been the case?
It has always been the case. I've served the military.
I hope you have been able to listen to what he said there. And part of what he said, if I'm right, is the old military barracks is left open. Why do we have the military barracks left open? And what is the purpose? What is the agenda? Why must we have the military barracks left open? Good evening to you, Abiodun Adetono. Why do we have the military formation left completely open? This is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, as we continue to look at so many reasons. Mrs. Titi Croward says the military is already compromised, where the so-called repentant Boko Haram are given quick rehabilitation and are integrated into the military and all the armed forces. Those integrated are the informant of the ones in the bushes. Which same country does that? Good evening to you, Femi Energy. Do you agree with her or do you disagree? Good evening to you, Saidi Yaya. Olalekan Patrick, good evening to you. Good evening to you, Tony Edges. I'm asking a question tonight and I'm not getting enough answer. Who should we hold responsible for the mayhem, for the havoc, for the killings, for everything happening to Nigerians and nobody can move from point A to B anymore? Who should we hold responsible for that? Is a question I'm asking. I welcome us as you're joining. 6:56 p.m. local time in London. We're same time now with Nigeria. Some say we don't want to be known as Nigeria. But I am asking the question again. Who must we hold responsible? I'm shocked that we have so many people that are not saying a lot when it comes to the terrorist invasion of Nigeria. I think people are taking it with a lot of Nigerians are not really taking note of the terrorist operation in Nigeria. And that is probably why we are not getting a lot of conversation on it on all the mainstream media in Nigeria. Do we now say that the country has now been hijacked from the government? Or do you say that is not the case? 7 p.m. local time in London. Let's go back to a little bit more from this.
Intelligence for the past 35 years. It has always been the case. Our problem is religion and social-cultural. I mean, people expect me to come here and start talking about kinetics, about operation and so on. I've been an operational commander all my life. I've commanded warships, I've commanded troops, I've commanded men outside Nigeria and so on. But I'm not going to come to your station to discuss kinetics. The problem is not kinetics. In 2017, 2016, I'm always a member of the Security and Intelligence Brief at the Defense Headquarters. I told them, General Lawrence Shakin then, that the challenge we have in this country cannot be solved the same way we solved the problem of Niger Delta. The Niger Delta problem was solved during Yar'Adua time, basically by me. And I told them that we can't use that same template for Boko Haram. I told General Shakin to look at the center of gravity of the problem. And we all came together. I was made a member of the committee, including Atahiru that just died was a member of that committee in 2016, 2017. And we came to a conclusion after several arguments. And the arguments were three. To identify the center of gravity of the problem, one group said it is the fighters, the Boko Haram fighters are the center of gravity, so we should go after them. Another group said the center of gravity of Boko Haram is Abubakar Shekau. So if you go after Abubakar Shekau, then the problem of Boko Haram will be solved. I took exception to the group. I said that is not.
For those that probably do not understand the magnitude of what is being played in Nigeria today, I'm going to break it down as much as I can. That Nigeria as it stands today has now overtaken Iraq. To now say that Nigeria is now, as of today, Nigeria is now the most terrorized country in the world as number 2. Do you understand that? So as we speak right now, Nigeria used to be number 3, but is no longer number 3, is now number 2. So that means you are more likely to be kidnapped or attacked in Nigeria today, for those that do not understand what I'm expecting you to understand. So many Nigerians are just moving from point A to B. So I'm going to go right now and type Nigeria terrorist attack. And the first page that comes up, let's read the comment. Ola Dimeji says, the former military head of state in Nigeria, Abacha, once said if a terrorist act lasted in a country for 48 hours, it means it has the hands of the government in it. Don't let us forget, sir, that the bandits were created to cause havoc if President Jonathan refused to back down by Buhari government. So Buhari and some governors and presidency are to be blamed. Do you agree with that line? Do we say that it was because of the 2015 election that influx of terrorists invaded Nigeria? Is that of your own opinion as well? For those of you that have just joined us from different platforms on Star Radio UK, it is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, as we continue to look into the matter of tonight, which is, who should we hold responsible? I'm going to be telling you what the British government is telling their citizens. Good evening to you, Mrs. Mojisola. JJ says, let Commander finish his speech. Okay. Thank you so much for reminding me. Let's go back to that. For those of you that do not know, that was a comrade, the former naval officer that have a inside knowledge of what we now call the second global terrorism index, which is Nigeria.
The center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram insurgency that we were having between that 2012 and 2017. And General Shakin asked me, Olayomi, why are you giving problem? What is the problem? Give us the answer. And I told General Shakin that if I tell you the answer, you're not going to be able to solve the problem. He said, what is the problem? So the center of gravity of Boko Haram and insurgency in Nigeria are the sponsors of that program. It was beyond us. Because the job we need to do is kinetics. Fight, destroy places, resolve issues. Yep. But we cannot resolve issue of sponsors of Boko Haram that were in Buhari's government, that we know them.
When you say we, who?
I was in the military intelligence. Okay. And the defense headquarters staff that I work with, they know. And that was why we couldn't pursue that aspect that could have resolved that problem. Because you need to arrest people. And recently, 400 people were gathered as sponsors of Boko Haram. Why is it that Buhari government has refused to try them?
How many people got that number of people that the comrade said? Those of you that are watching us, you might have to switch. Those of you watching us from this camera, which is the this particular one I'm pointing to right here, the one that's got a pen. You need to switch to the bigger platform, either Star Radio UK or you move to Koiki Media, because we're going to be bringing that broadcast down from this end. And for you to continue to enjoy it, you would definitely have to join Star Radio UK Facebook page, which is Star SR, or you can also link up with Koiki Media that is also streaming as well, depending on which one you want to watch. But we're going to end the broadcast now. Once again, a very good evening to those of you that are watching us on all the platforms. Like I said, or you can go straight to Koiki Media Ududua. You have options. So I'm going to end the broadcast on this. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. It is your finest Wednesday evening. It's coming up to 5 minutes past as we continue to say there's a lot happening in Nigeria. It is no longer a rumor that there will be coup in Nigeria. It's just about when it's going to happen. According to intelligence that we have, that is reaching us, I've talked about this, and I'm coming back again to discuss it again tonight. Should there be a coup in Nigeria today, what should happen? I'm asking the question to those of you, our listeners from around the globe. Should there be a coup in Nigeria today, what should we do? If there's a coup today, I'm going to go back to that audio again one more time, and then we take a little bit from it, and then we continue with the program. There's a lot to discuss tonight, and we haven't got much time. Let's go back to that again. Good evening to those of you all over the world.
So the government knows sponsors of Boko Haram.
Of course.
Did you hear that? They're asking him if the government knows the sponsor of Boko Haram. And he was not hesitating to say yes, the government knows the sponsor of Boko Haram. So why is the government not running after the Boko Haram is the question. Again, the quote of today says, "It is my firm conviction that everyone's destiny will have its ups and downs and zigzag." Nnamdi Kanu is still being held by the government, but we are grateful that the Benin Republic did not listen to the Nigerian government by handing over Chief Sunday Igboho back to Benin Republic. We're going to be discussing that as well later on tonight. Good evening to you, Alhaji Idris Muhyiddin. Good evening to you, Mr. Michael Awe. Good evening to you, Balogun Abiodun. Good evening to you, Mr. Bolaji George. Coup or no coup, everybody needs to go their separate ways, okay? Good evening to you, Chris_Wealth. Good evening to those of you that are joining us from different parts of the globe tonight. It is Star Radio UK. My name is Olayomi Koiki. We're going to just take a little bit more from that. It's a long video, so we might not be able to use everything. But you now have an idea when I say, do we say that the government is now compromised and they're not doing enough to end the insurgency that is taking place and ravaging across the country? Today alone, if I look into our record, up to the last, more than 72 hours, 3 days now, I'm going to give you some breakdown of people that have been massacred, killed, kidnapped, and this is happening in almost every part of Nigeria in the last 72 hours, for the benefit of those that are not from Nigeria. In the last 72 hours, Nigerians have had to deal with killings, kidnapping. I saw the video, I believe that was on Tuesday, where the terrorists have now released video of part of those that they took away, and they are now saying that 16 of their commandant has to be free before they can release them. But there's also a news that the Northern Elders Forum is asking President Muhammadu Buhari to resign. And this is coming from the Northern Elders Forum. Do you agree that now that everybody is talking, the Northern are talking, Mr. Mike Ola say if a coup happens today, the one and only option for Yoruba is to declare independent and secure all our borders. My only concern and fear is, do we have the manpower, military power to do that, with a question mark? I'll leave that to those that are listening to us. The Northern Elders Forum asks Buhari to resign. It is now time for President Buhari to seriously consider that option, since his leadership has proved spectacularly incapable of providing security over Nigerians. Our forum is aware of the weight of this advice. What is your take on that? There's so much insecurity in Nigeria, and this again is what the former Navy Olayomi had to say.
It's in the news in April.
Good evening to you, Mrs. Funke Iyalaje, for joining us, and welcome on board to Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. This program has been coming in the last 5 years. I remember we might bring him back again. We had Omoyele Sowore was sitting right there before the election in 2019. I had Fule Durotoye. I know Sowore still want to become the president. We will reach out to him. We will reach out to all the contestants. That's if they're going to listen to us. But my position is Nigeria is no longer holding, and with the amalgamation, the best option, this is my view, not the view of Star Radio UK or the management of the studio. My own take is Nigeria needs now to be disintegrated, separate nations, and that we can secure our borders, have a better economy. Nigeria is now going through a lot of crises. It's not just the terrorists. Economic wise, Nigeria is still going very, very bad. The loan is being borrowed, and yet we can't say what they're borrowing the loan for. Economy is zero. University student, I was reading before getting into the studio this evening. Very beautiful weather out there. The weather is getting better. We don't need to get a lot of big jacket. Thank you so much to those of you that have been staying with us for a very long time. Good evening to you, Kennedy Ekpoma. Good evening to you, the Biafrans. Good evening to the Middle Belt. Good evening to the Arewa. The Northern Elders is now asking Buhari to resign. What do you think on that as well? I want to read all your comment. Mr. Adekunle Oluyemi says, Oduduwa is a goal. Good job, Koiki. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Those of you that are watching us from Star Radio UK, Facebook page, YouTube, you can follow us. The focus point tonight is still who should be held responsible for security. I was going to give you a breakdown for those of you joining us on YouTube. Sorry for the late delay in bringing the broadcast onto the screen. Good evening to you, African Confidential. I was trying to bring it onto the from the laptop, but it was taking a bit of time. But we've eventually done the magic around it. 72 hours. This is what I want you to remember. Get your pen and paper. Several students of College of Health Education in Tasfa in Zamfara State are reportedly being kidnapped by terrorists yesterday night. Details still sketchy. This is the incident that has occurred in Nigeria in the last 72 hours. Again, just in Reports indicate that gunmen hijack and kidnap passengers in a 2 commercial bus along the Gema Agbuguma Abonima Road along east-west road axis in River State yesterday night. The passengers are believed to be traveling to the Riverine area. Again, I hope you got your pen and paper. You're taking note. These are events that has occurred in the last 72 hours. There was a protest by the youths in Makurdi, Boko in Benue State. The people in Benue State have gone through a lot in terms of the massacre and the killings that is taking place right there. But again, in terms of crisis, we come back again to 1 minute. I could say I know the vice president has already put his indication he wants to become the president. Okay, this is a video, and I'm going to get the video on now, and we can just hear the sound track of those that were not rescued, in the hands of the Boko Haram terrorists. And these are individuals that probably would never say anything about the security of Nigeria. They're probably moving from point A to B. They were not concerned, or probably they were concerned, but maybe they were not doing enough to speak up. Are you part of those as well? Good evening to you, Saeed Jimo. Are you part of those that are still thinking that nothing is happening? Because when you speak to somebody in Nigeria, all they tell you is nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. They will tell you that nothing is happening, and you start to wonder whether whatever you are seeing as evidence-based, just as this former naval officer was telling us in the video that we were just listening to, the audio clip right there. We just take about 1 minute or two, and then I'm going to get ready, the next video for you. Good evening to you once again, Kende Oyebanjo. Good evening. Thank you very much, Mrs. Funke Iyalaje. A lot of Nigerians will tell you there's nothing happening in Nigeria until somebody in their family get kidnapped. Then they are shouting and they are crying for support. And I'm asking the question tonight: who should be responsible? Is it the governors that are taking billions in security vote? Is it your senator, your House of Rep? There's no light. How can they know what is happening? Okay, all right.
This year, the government said they have arrested 400 Bureau de Change related, people that were sponsoring Boko Haram. They told us. And Abu Dhabi also helped us to arrest few Nigerians. Tried them, we know them. Why can't this government, if not that they are partisan and they are actually part of the charade that is going on, why can't they bring those people out for trial?
So the Bureau de Change operates on the one hand, but you particularly said people in government. Are those part of the Bureau de Change, or those people that you say are in government are still there, government is aware, and government is condoning them?
The people I mentioned that are in government are not these ones they just arrested. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012.
Yeah.
And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That
these are serious, allegation, or we might say, according to him, that if we have people that are working with this current government, I'm talking about the APC Buhari government. Should I take you straight now to that other video? These are Nigerians that have now cried out to the government to please come and do the needful, because they are already. We also have some foreigners among them. I'm not sure whether these are Lebanese or these are from Pakistan or Indian, but I can see that in the midst of those in that video that was released by the terrorists, we have also foreigners in there. But before I play that video, I was telling you about what the British government is advising Nigerians that are living in the United Kingdom. Should you be traveling back home? These are measures that you need to remember so that you do not become a victim of a terrorist attack in Nigeria. This is a foreign travel advice, and it was last updated, according to what I have here. It was last updated some few days ago. According to the FCDO, as is known, this is what I said. Terrorism. Terrorists are likely to try to carry out attacks in Nigeria. Attacks could be indiscriminated and could affect Western interest, as well as places visited by tourists. Most attacks are conducted by Boko Haram or Islamic State West Africa, known as ISWAP, and these occurred in Borno State, Yobe State, Adamawa State in the northeast. As of 24th of December 2021, there is reporting of an increased terrorist threat in Abuja. I need to get this. I think this is the old version. Let's get the latest version. Just bear with us. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. While I'm getting that ready, I might as well just let the engineer play the audio that we have ready. The audio that you're about to listen to, for those of you that are not from Nigeria, these are Nigerians that are still now, after 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks, in the hands of the terrorists, and they're now asking the federal government to please come to their rescue. Mr. Mike Ola also says again, the Arewa are just playing games. They know their secrets are out, and are out there, and there is no hidden place for them anymore. Remember the saying, the trouble you brew today, you should drink tomorrow. This is coming from Mr. Mike Ola. You should drink it tomorrow. Mr. Ola Dimeji also said, and I quote, let's see if we can read that here, because I'm struggling to get it out from there. So let's read it from the bigger screen. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adebayo Nike Kudera. Thank you so much for joining us as well on Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. I come here every Wednesday. We talk about issues affecting Nigerians. We've been doing this for 5 years, continuously, non-stop. Like I said, we've had different guests. You know, we've got APC members that have been here before. We've got PDP, AAC. We've got non-Nigerian, just ordinary Nigerians. We've talked about issues affecting Nigerians, and this is what I've done for 5 years continuously, on Star Radio UK, and we continue to do that as well. So this is what Mr. Mike Ola says. Thank you so much, Mrs. Olua Kemi Adeleye. Thank you so much, Kendi, Mr. Kendi Oyebanjo. Thank you so much as well. Mr. Mike Ola says, and I want to read it properly for the benefit of those of you that are not, and keep your comment coming as well. Those of you on the YouTube, I can read everything as well. The Arewa are just playing the games. They know their secrets are out there, and there is no hidden place for them anymore. Remember the saying, the trouble you brew today, you should drink tomorrow. Are we now saying that the government, according to the last comment that came earlier on, says, I think this government brought these terrorists in 2015 in the hope that Jonathan would not let power go. So what happened in 2023? There's a lot at stake. The self-determination are saying is a total disintegration. Election. Some are still saying there must be election. Ilanomo Dua. I'm going to be telling you what they say, that they will be going to the court. The court was meant to be today, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But I guess they have a new date. I'm going to be telling you that as well. So let me go back to that. The trouble you brew today, you should drink tomorrow. They are starting to pay for what they did. Remember, the same bandit and Boko Haram just killed the chairman of the Mayati Allah. Yes, you're quite right. And the 4 others, they are starting to understand. So is it now that because the Mayati Allah were killed as well, that is why the Northern Elders Forum are speaking out as well? That is exactly what Mr. Mike is saying there. Mr. Kennedy Joseph said, please, where is the commander Kunle Olayomi now? Has he been taken out of circulation just like Dr. Malafi Obadiah? I know he was invited by the DSS. I don't think his life, well, I don't want to use the word his life is not a threat. Good evening to you, Mrs. Dada, Liz Dada. I'll probably say we don't know where he is, but I know someone that knows somebody that knows him. I will do a follow-up just to make sure that the commander is still safe, just as we would have loved the late Dr. Malafia to be alive, but we know what happened at the end of it. So keep your comment coming. I'll continue to read them. Good evening to you, Akim Olaiton Laniwaju. Good evening to you, Olakunle Lame. Good evening to you, Adeni Adeyonju Bambi. What part of Nigeria is safe? Can somebody just tell us what part of Nigeria is safe today? Good evening to you, Taiwo Tijani. Good evening to you, Anthony Adedeji. Good evening to you, Akonji Odewumi. Again, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the football match that is going to be coming up in South Africa that is being put together. We will be having a special program on that. I might probably be bringing somebody onto the program next week Wednesday, or probably during our own normal program that we do. It's coming up to 24 minutes past. The time is going so fast, even though we've lost about 20 minutes, but we try and catch up tonight. Probably maybe we have another extra half an hour. Let me quickly go back to the audio from those that were kidnapped from the terrorists on the train network in Nigeria between Kaduna and also Abuja. Good evening to you, Mr. Olatunja Officer. We already have terrorists, what you said there, you said we already have terrorists and bandits during the regime of President Jonathan. Okay, so it's not just that the terrorists occurred overnight during this government. Okay, that's fine. But who is responsible is the question I'm asking. Jonathan is no longer in power. PDP is no longer in power. Who should we be holding responsible, for the massacre of Nigerians and also the killings that is taking place in Nigeria as well? Good evening to you, Mr. Ayodele Adeleye. No doubt the Nigerian government is culpable in the terrorist activities. Repentant terrorists were spared. Remember, there was a time they had a cardboard and they say, "Please, Nigerians, forgive us." I don't understand what that means. Good evening to you, Mrs. Ebun Enilolobo. Welcome on board. Buhari administration, according to Mrs. Funke Iyalaji. Keep your comment coming and I'll continue to read them out. But because of time constraint, let's go back and listen to, for the benefit of our listeners that are not from Nigeria, I'll remind you there was a terrorist attack on a train network between Kaduna and Abuja, or from Abuja to Kaduna. This could have probably been about an hour and a half train journey. The road network is no longer safe. Just before that Monday of that train attack, the airport, the international airport in Kaduna, was attacked by the terrorists. Individuals were killed. While the party were having their convention in Abuja, there was massacre taking place in Kaduna. And this continues all the time. But these Nigerians are now asking the government to please come and rescue them. Let's listen to what they have to say.
And I'm talking on behalf of the students. Government should please hear our cry and come to our aid. Thank you.
Which school are you from?
I'm a student of Kaduna State University.
What is from? What is from?
I'm out of Kaduna.
From which state?
Kaduna State.
Where are you studying?
I'm schooling in Kaduna State University.
Which course?
Agriculture.
University. College. School.
I'm Gladys Bruno, an ex-staff of Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria. What happened on Monday was needless if the government would have a listening ear and accede to what the populists are talking about.
Oh, my name is Adedeji. I was going to Kaduna for
mu ne fasinja da muka taso daga Abuja zuwa Kaduna ranar Litinin 28 ga watan uku shekara ta 2022 wanda akan hanyar mu ta zuwa Kaduna.
Kind of about GoDaddy domain names.
Sorry about that. Let's go back to that clip again. We're just about almost finishing it.
University.
Which course?
Agriculture.
University. College. School.
I'm Gladys Bruno, an ex-staff of Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria. What happened on Monday was needless if the government would have a listening ear and accede to what the populists are talking about.
Oh, my name is Adedeji. I was going to Kaduna for eye treatment.
Mu ne fasinja da muka taso daga Abuja zuwa Kaduna ranar Litinin 28 ga watan uku shekara ta 2022 wanda akan hanyar mu ta zuwa Kaduna aka samu nasarar kama mu. Tun daga lokacin zuwa yanzu muka san irin halin da muke ciki. Akwai mata da ƙananan yara, akwai tsofi wanda yake ba su da lafiya, akwai mu karan kanmu wanda yake shekaru sun fara.
Just to buttress back again, thank you so much. A lot of comment is flying through. Let's go back again. Mr. Michael says all the politicians, parties are responsible. Each of them invited different sect of these bandits into Nigeria. Mr. Akim Olaiton Lariwaju says, I said it before that they will likely want to plan a coup if they see a sign that power might not remain in their hand. Those are evil, to be honest. Also, the indigenous Nigeria. The next audio you're going to listen to is coming from a cry of the Hausas. They are crying out loud as well. I remember that the last clip I played, these were Hausa that were also part of those that were kidnapped. Do we now say that what is happening in Nigeria is what we can call ethnic cleansing, just as we've seen it in the past in different parts of the globe? It's not the first time that ethnic cleansing is happening. It has happened before. For the Biafrans were massacred, the genocide, and up to date, nobody has paid responsibility for that. It's coming up to 7:30. But before we go further, let me quickly give you some kind of update. I was going to tell you a little bit. I did talk about earlier on. I wanted to give you a bit of information. Remember, I said that there's a lot happening, and a lot is happening very, very fast. Just bear with me. Let's get this audio back again in just about a few minutes.
And the international community. Now, I want to address Nigerians and the international community about the current happenings in northern Nigeria. Although it's not only northern Nigeria, it's the entire country, but most particularly northern Nigeria. And I want to address the indigenous Nigerians and the Hausa people, particularly in Nigeria. We need to rise up. We need to open eyes. The Fulanis are moving all villages, killing people, rampaging communities. They have no respect for religion. Fulani man has no respect, whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian. I myself that is addressing you, I'm a Hausa person. These people have no regard for religion. If you are thinking it's about religion, you better open your eyes. The indigenous people in this country and the Hausa people need to rise up and open their eyes. This is not about religion, it's about ethnic cleansing.
Once again, this is Star Radio UK. You had him right there. This is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has been crying out. This is what Professor Banji Akintoye said, that we are now facing a dilemma where situation is getting out of hand. I said I was going to give you an update on two things. I don't want to forget about that. Let's go back to Sir David Mars. He was an MP. He was killed. The man has now been found guilty. But this particular man has a link to ISIS. An ISIS fanatic has been found guilty of murdering Sir David Ames. Is a member of parliament here in UK. He was killed 6 months ago. The South End West MP was stabbed more than 20 times during what we know as the constituency surgery in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex on 15th of October 2021. This young man, I've got his picture right in front of me, stabbed him 20 times. This is in the United Kingdom. Imagine if we have an ISIS fanatic that was able to kill, even in the midst of all the security that United Kingdom has got. The MFI, to secure the lives of millions of, citizens that live here in the United Kingdom, whether the British or the non-British, whether people that are here for different purposes. But this young man, 26 years old, live in Kentish Town, which is somewhere I know very well. From here, it's probably about less than 2 hours if I have to travel from the studio to Kentish Town. But he was living among us. But yet, the radar could not pick him up. So the question I'm asking those of you back home now is, should you be concerned that you have people that are living among you that the government does not even know where they are? You probably see them all the time, but you don't know that their real agenda. This is why the Hausa man is now crying out loud to the international community that there is what we call ethnic cleansing in Nigeria. It was according to the jury at the Old Bailey, took just 18 minutes to convict Ali Habib Ali of murder and preparing act of terrorism. So if we can have a young man like this living among us in the United Kingdom, the question then for those of you at home is, should you be concerned? Should you be worried? Or are you not concerned? This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. You can follow us on all our social media handles. You can also follow us on Twitter at Star Radio UK. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, email info@starradiouk.com. Mrs. Funke Iyalaje says the time to exit Nigeria is now. Mr. Toyin says on Yoruba Nation I stand 100%. African Confidential says the president is the #1 ISIS fanatic in Nigeria. Mr. Olatunji Awofeso says government should increase the defense spending. I thought they've been spending a lot of money. Trillions of naira have been spent. Are we saying that the government haven't spent enough? Okay, I don't know. Let's read more comment from the other platform as well. Mrs. Titi also said, who do we hold responsible other than the man who declared that if he wasn't given the presidency, the blood of the baboons and the monkeys will flow? With a question mark. Should every Nigerian now start? I'm telling you, this young man, 26 years old, an ISIS fanatic, was able to stab a member of parliament, which is equivalent to what you can call your senator in Nigeria, 20 times. How did we allow him to operate in a system that has vast amount of security? Not to talk about Nigeria, where you don't have that security. Today is Wednesday, 13th of April. The time now is 7:36 p.m. Santra Coco say Yoruba Nation now. Mrs. Ojora Elizabeth says, Jekomo with hashtag. We're going to listen to a bit of what Chief Sunday Adeyemo says, especially telling us to go and sign the petition, the 5 million petition. So, let's go back to this a little bit more.
Religion is about ethnic cleansing. The Fulani people want to eliminate the indigenous Nigerians. Now, in my look,
the Fulani want to eliminate the indigenous Nigerians. For those that are not aware, let me bring you up to date. Nigeria was put together by the British government in 1914, and that is why the Yorubas are saying they want to exit Nigeria. That is why the Biafrans are saying we want to leave Nigeria. That is why the Middle Belt are saying that the killing is too much. The Hausas are now also saying that the Fulani want to wipe out all the ethnic minority, or the indigenous, not even the ethnic minority, the indigenous. Good evening to you, Blessed Olua. Good evening to you, Elijah Adeyeye. Good evening to you, my brother Olayomi Kun Damijo. Until Boko Haram invade the National Assembly before Nigeria get the sound. Wow. So do we must allow the Boko Haram to invade the National Assembly? Is that your own take as well? Mrs. Comfort Ologunja. I hope I pronounced it very well. I hope I didn't massacre the name. Good evening, Mom. Good evening to you. We're very grateful to you. And thank you so much for your support all the time. Nigeria has gone to a land of no return. Destroyed finally by the Buhari and Fulanis. Break Nigeria now. It can never hold again Yoruba nation now. Do you agree with the line that until Nigeria breaks away, that will be the only option on the table at 1938 from London, where we are saying that Star Radio UK, let's go back again and listen more. Once again, Mrs. Comfort Adeye said, definitely they will. Good evening to you, Prince Nasir Brown. When somebody is Prince, it's not a pet name, it's a royal family lineage. Good evening to you, Rahim Ibrahim said, this is the time for us to exit from the contraction before time goes. Let's listen more to what this indigenous Hausa man has to say.
Indigenous Nigerians. Now, in my local government, your local government of Kaduna State, it's a local government that is 99% Hausa people by tribe. But as I'm talking to you, over 4 days now, the Fulani militias have killed over 200 persons. And among them include my own relations. They have burnt houses. They have destroyed both Christians and Muslims. So it is high time for particularly the indigenous northern Hausas to unite themselves against this onslaught. If those are
coming back
in position of authority, if you think this is about religion, then you are still sleeping. This is not about religion. This is about ethnic cleansing. They are trying to eliminate the indigenous, Nigerians, the indigenous northerners, and take over their lands. This is about land grabbing. I'm telling you, in the Zangwantama community in your local government, which comprises of over 60 to 70 villages, clustered villages, there have been so far now, over 100 people have been killed, houses burnt, their cows, their cattle that they use for, farming, for construction of bridges and all that, they have been scattered away. Some of them have moved towards Zaria.
The situation, do I say, has got out of hand or is just about to get out of hand? Which one do you think? Do you think that the situation of Nigeria has literally now got out of hand or is just getting out of hand? What is your take on that? Once again, we do know that those of you that are watching us on Star Radio UK, the video has been freezed, but the engineers are working behind the scene to get it back on as quickly as possible. For those of you that are watching us on Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Are you ready to turn it up? Like I said, we are aware that the image has frozen for those of you that are watching us on Star Radio UK, but the engineers are working to bring it back up again as quickly as possible. Keep the comment coming and I'll be reading them as I have them with me, for those of you that are watching us from all the platforms. Let's see what the British government advised to Nigerians that might want to go home. This is the advice. This was updated last on the 13th of April, which is today. Well, I mean on the 4th rather, but it's still current. Mrs. Liz Dada said Nigeria is dusted. Thank you so much once again, Shino Yusuf, and to every one of you. Olatunja officers in Nigeria is a time bomb, to be honest. Okay. Mrs. Liz Dada said Boko Haram is a terrorist, is a pathetic. But everybody is now singing the song of election 2023. The vice president says I can do it. Bola Tinubu says I can do it. Dele Momodu says I can do it. Kingsley Moghalu, Sowore, Wike, Yaya Bello, Anyami, And every one of them are saying that they can make Nigeria a better place. Do you agree? Or is it just a joke? According to the British government, on the foreign travel advice, should you be going to Nigeria, the Foreign and the Commonwealth Development Office, also known as the FCDO, advised against all travel to Borno State, Yobe State, Adamawa State, Gombe State, Kaduna, Katsina, Zamfara, and the riverine of Delta State and Bayelsa River, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River. You must not travel to those regions, according to the British government, FCDO. The FCDO advised against all but essential travel to Bauchi State, Kano State, Jigawa State, Niger State, Sokoto State, Kogi State, within 20 kilometers of the border with Niger in Kebbi State, Abia State. If you are planning travel to Nigeria, remember that on the 26th of March 2022, an attack against the Kaduna airport killed at least one airport official in the latest in series of attacks by the gunmen in the north of Nigeria. On the 29th, which is just about 2 days after that, an apparent improvised explosive device known as IED attack took place against a train that was traveling from Abuja to Kaduna, with report of numbers of people being killed or adopted by the gunmen, and that's the audio we played earlier on. Mrs. Comfort Ade said, which Nigeria? All of them are jokers, but they say they want to fix Nigeria. Good evening to you, I Chief Otumba 231 on Instagram, and those of you that have joined us so far on the Instagram. Ifawa Leyi, there is no more government in Nigeria. The bandit will soon take over the government. Thank you so much. Keep the comment coming. Mrs. Elizabeth Adeson say, they wear of the same feathers. They can't do anything, all of them. Did you see the electricity that sparked in Maryland today? Nigeria with trouble. 12 minutes before 8 p.m. tonight. Like I said, bear with us, those of you. Okay, the video is back. No, it's still freeze. I'm aware that it's freeze. The engineers are working to get it back up, should we can get it back on. For those of you that are watching us on Star Radio UK, we do apologize for the freeze in the video. I know you can see my picture, but there's no movement at all. We'd like to apologize for that. Let's come back to a bit of what we heard from Professor Banji Akintoye and Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho and their lawyer. This was last week. Once again, we'd like to say thank you so much to every one of you that have joined us so far. This is Star Radio UK, where we come up every Wednesday.
All around the world.
My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I've been your host so far. And as we continue to say, what do you think is going to happen? Good evening to you, Biafra. Now I'm talking about the video from the Star Radio UK Facebook page, not the not the YouTube, it's the Facebook. Thank you so much once again to those of you that have joined us so far. We all had Chief Sunday Adeyemo spoke last week after 1 month of being released by President Patrick Talon. I'm just going to play a snip. But before I do that, he has also advised us to go and sign the petition, which is www.ominirayoruba2022.org, for the benefit of those of you that have not signed it so far. Let's first listen to this. Chief Sunday Adeyemo want us all to go and sign the petition.
Are you ready to turn it up?
8, 7, 6, 5.
Now look at also the powers of the governor. When Obasanjo in his good sense created what you call the excess crude fund, the excess crude fund was the excess from the budgeted or money. When the price of oil was 110, the budget was pegged at 75. So you still have about $45,000, which now Obasanjo said, keep it in an excess crude fund, so that when the price of oil goes below that 75 benchmark, we will have money, to help you to still maintain the standard of governance. What happened? The governor started breathing on the neck of the president. We want this, we want this. When Obasanjo left, he left 86 billion reserve and 47 billion in the excess crude fund. Today, the excess crude fund, I don't think is up to 2 billion.
This was just 1 year after the APC government came to power. The question you should ask yourself tonight is, how much left in the reserve? How much left in all the money? Loan has been borrowed on the name of Nigerians, but as I speak to you tonight, millions of Nigerians are going to bed without no food in their belly. I would have loved to continue, but as you know, I have to go now. We're just 5 minutes away and I'll be handing over back to the studio. The last message that we have tonight is coming from Ilana Omodua. And this is what they have to say to give us the update on the upcoming court case challenging this fraudulent document called Constitution that has been used to secure their lives as against your life. The question you should ask yourself tonight is, what is the purpose of Nigeria? At who benefit?
The last message that we have.
Who benefit from Nigeria? As we know tonight, we were told that 80% of the wealth that is meant to be for Nigerians or Nigeria as a whole is in the hands of few people. Who are these people? Do you think that 20% can sustain everybody? That is why there's everybody stabbing and killing each other. And that is why we are saying, let us let it go. So this is the latest coming from Maxwell Adeleye, is the communication secretary for Ilana Omodua. Ilana Omodua, worldwide court action against the 1999 Constitution. This to inform you all that the Oshogbo court case instituted by Ilana worldwide against the validity of the 1999 Constitution has been adjourned to from today, the 13th of April 2022 to 17th of May 2022 for motion and mention. The April 28th date for Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, still stand. So for those of you that are planning to travel, you now have to prepare to travel to Oshogbo on the 17th of May next month. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I'd like to thank every one of you that have stayed tuned with us tonight as we're bringing the broadcast to an end. I want us to remind ourselves that self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is not against the international world that we are living. We have right to determine where we want to be. We are the indigenous people. My take and my belief as an individual is that the Yoruba must now walk towards their exit from Nigeria, just as the British left European Union. We will do this in every ramification, more awareness campaign, We would defend ourselves should the need arise. And we should not be scared to say that, because if we wait and allow the invaders to invade us without defending ourselves, a lot of people will die. We've seen it, and I've asked the question I'm asking again tonight before I go. Last time, who should be held responsible for security? Robert Clark told us billions of naira have been given to our governors, but yet they refuse to give you that proper security. So my advice to those of you at home is to continue to be vigilant, know your environment, know who is coming in, who is going out. I know it might be difficult, but you'll be surprised that some people have moved into your community and there might be danger to you. A 26-year-old was living with us here in Kentish Town. He took a train. He traveled about almost 2 hours journey, and he was able to stab a member of parliament here in UK. This was 6 months ago. They've convicted him yesterday. If that could happen in United Kingdom, that is meant to be one of the most safe place, my question to you then is, how secure are you in Nigeria today? And on that note, I say have a very good evening, and I'll hand over back to my producer back in the studio.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
I'll be back again same time next week, but tomorrow you can join me at exactly 11 o'clock when we come back for the update on the morning show. To all our friends and sisters and brothers watching from African country, I say au revoir, I say odabo. I've already pinned down the link to that article that says Nigeria is a failed state. I cite every one of you from Ogun State to Kwara to Kogi, from wherever you're watching. For those of you in the northern part of Nigeria, we say protect yourself.
are you ready to turn it up?
The rest assured next week is going to be much hotter with a very, very important topic, but I'll leave that to you for you to guess. My name hasn't changed. It's Olayomi Koiki. This is Naija Voices, and you can join me on my own social media handles. You all know where to join me. I'll be back again whenever I'm back. But for now, on Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, I say good night.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.